Teddy Covers in the house, coming to us live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Teddy Covers, how are you doing on this Monday morning?
I'm doing all right, Jimmy. I got no complaints today. How about yourself, man?
Oh man, little 7-0 Sunday. I haven't sent in the numbers, but I'm I got cold feet on my 3 plays in the Bengals Steelers game, so I didn't make them 200 a pop. I made them 150 because I did not want to sit there with $600 on that game. I just didn't think I could handle that. So I cut those down to $150 pops. But I think it's about a $1,200 score for me yesterday, which God, I needed so badly. Not financially as much as I need it for here and for coming into this stretch run of the NFL season. So 7-0, just feels really, really good. And I had a bad day in NCAA football. It was 4-7, and then I jumped on your Nevada play late to get a little bit of it back. And you told us on the show to put a little on the money line. I did not do that, but I did get a little bit back with Nevada plus 14. Thank you for that. So I did go 5-7 in NCAA football, but it was a great weekend. And I'm very thankful. How did everything come out for you?
I had a pretty good day on Saturday. I can't complain at all about Saturday. I split out yesterday. I might have had my worst, when you wake up on Sunday morning, you're like, no, this one's wrong, and you've already put it out, you've already bet it, you already sent it to the clients, and then you're like, no, I got a bad feeling about this. And I had the Raiders, and that's as bad a play as I'm going to have all year. Then I had the Niners last night, so we were able to get it back. So it wasn't a bad Sunday, but I hate the wrong sides. I'm not a big fan of wrong side losers. And of course, it's a crazy week. Everyone's traveling. I'll be out of town. I won't be available on Wednesday, Thursday or Friday this week. You know that, Jimmy. So it's a little bit of a hectic time this week. And it's important to talk about like the holiday weeks, Thanksgiving week, Christmas week, New Year's week, especially when you're single. Okay. It's one thing when you have family functions and all this stuff going on. But when you're single, you have whatever celebration on the day, but the whole weekend is kind of open. It can be a betting orgy. Okay, we've been there. The only thing I would say for this weekend, I'm not going to tell anyone, don't go nuts. This is what I'm going to say. If you're seeing things clearly, you're allowed to bet more. If you're struggling, you have to cut those unit sizes. You cannot double up this week. Of all the weekends, Thanksgiving weekend, if you get into trouble, cut those unit sizes. Don't double them up, for God's sakes. I've seen people take a whole season's of profit and lose it in 4 days this week. So be aware and, have fun, because it is an orgy. It's a betting orgy this weekend, dude. It really is.
Yeah, that's so important. So important, the angle of being single around the holiday here where there's so much to gamble on. That's such a great point. Teddy, because you're not going to be here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we really got to milk every little last bit of your time. So I've got a plan for how I want to attack this. But the first plan, before we get into the Monday Nighter, which I can't wait to talk to you about, I do need a little bit of help to accomplish all of the NBA games and have them capped. So we're going to be very quick, very, very quick, but we have 4 games I need your help with, starting with a spot that you handle nicely, and that being the Chicago Bulls. Blazers, Bulls. I'm on spreads and totals here in the NBA section here at sportsreview.com, best odds page in the business. Portland opening up at -1, a road favorite. They're still there at Pinnacle, but other books have moved the Bulls to 1-point favorites here. The Blazers getting no distribution, whether or not Lillard's on the court or not. Chicago coming off that 116-115 win over the Hornets. Zach LaVine, after getting benched, stepped up in a huge way. Boylan must feel good about himself, even though a lot of the decisions he's been making are asinine. But LaVine stepped up after that. Markkanen still waiting for him to step up. Wendell Carter, okay. They're just not getting enough. Kobe White, 13.9 points per game. I guess, 13.9 from Kobe, 13.8 from Markkanen, 12.8 from Wendell Carter. They need Otto Porter back. He's still out with a left foot sprain. Portland, 4-game losing streak. They're not looking good. Lillard, back problems just nagging at him. 23 points in his most recent game, 7 of 20 from the field. They're missing Nurkic, as you know, Collins, as you know, for a long time. Whiteside missed Saturday against Cleveland. And then they brought in Carmelo, who's scoring 13 points a game, who is not going to help in the long run. Teddy Covers, Blazers, Bulls.
It's an easy game for me. I don't want Chicago right now. I don't want Portland right now. I'm not playing it. I'm not going to ask the Blazers. Just like I know we lost with we didn't take the Pistons on Friday, saying I want to see it once before I bet it. And now we've seen it, and now we can bet it. Haven't seen it yet with Portland. Can't bet it. If I had to take it, it would be Bulls, but I don't want the Bulls in pick'em games. They're finding ways to live. I know they won the other night in Charlotte, but they found ways to lose these games all year as opposed to win them. Pass.
Wow, Sweaty Butcher back in the Blazers. I did get the Pistons first half on Friday, which was nice. And I'm going back to the well with Pistons again tonight. We'll hear what you have to say about these other games. But let's quickly go to Jazz Bucks. This is an interesting one. J Money did touch on this spot. Bucks open up at -5.5. They're now at -7. I guess that's saying that Gobert is not going to be in the lineup. This total opened up at 218.5 and it's all the way up to 223, I guess, because Gobert's not going to be clogging up the paint. But it's not like Tony Bradley's going to do nice offense, but he's nothing compared to Gobert. Bradley, 14 points on 9 boards, 7 of 8 shooting, replacing Gobert. Last out, Milwaukee, 7 straight wins. They haven't lost since Bogdanovich hit him with that buzzer beater in the open corner on November 8th. Milwaukee averaging 119.9 points per game, 3 straight victories. I did have Golden State plus 16. I was shocked the way they let Golden State back in it. I was so close to hedging out of that bet before the game. I just let it go, and I was thankful that I did. Gobert, ankle injury. Donovan Mitchell goes for 37. Bogdanovich, 28 in their last start. Jazz, Bucks. How are you handling this, Teddy?
So at 5.5, I'm interested in Milwaukee. I'm not going to lay an inflated price with the Bucks without Gobert. You know how it works. The star's out for one game, everybody else steps up. And I mean, Utah is so dicey offensively. They're hit and miss offensively. Milwaukee isn't. Milwaukee's every night they're finding ways to put the biscuit in the basket. So I right now I think the Bucks are the better of these two teams. The only way I could play it is Milwaukee, but I've missed the number, and I'm not going to lay the price with the Bucks in a night where Gobert's out and the markets have adjusted. And it's not a long-term injury. I would expect Utah to come and play with them. And it's not easy to build margins against the Jazz either. So lean Milwaukee, won't get to the window with it.
Well said. Well said. Jeff Billing says, I love Bucks full game and the Greek with a triple-double. Wow, triple-double. Okay, let's keep rolling. Lakers, Spurs. This is an interesting spot. The Lakers have not looked like world beaters on the road, but they continue to win games. They open up at 4.5. They're now at 5 or 5.5 at BetOnline or Bovada. This total at 223, still at 223, although we have seen the appearance of a couple 22.5. Spurs finally get through that longest losing skid in the 23-year Pop era, 8-game losing streak. They stop at that 111-104 win over the Knicks. They were in complete control of that game the whole time. They allowed an average of 122.4 points per game in that 8-game losing streak. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Lakers win 109-108 over Memphis on Saturday. Again, seeing those Vancouver Grizzlies jerseys just brought back so much happiness. And watching Valanciunas run and not Big Country run was a treat. Seeing a big white guy down the lane. Anthony Davis, 22 points. Rondo, 14. Caldwell Pope, 12. Dwight Howard, 10. But they're squeaking by victories. Do the Spurs start playing better after they get through that road or that losing streak? Teddy covers Lakers, Spurs.
Lakers are past. I want no part of San Antonio. Think about it. You have this terrible homestand, and then you have a terrible road trip. And in the last game, you finally steal a game against the lowly Knicks. You're like, well, now you go home and you relax. The Lakers are a lot better than the Spurs. The Spurs' early season struggles, I think, are indicative of what San Antonio is. All right. And even though they dominated that game against the Knicks in every way possible and blew them out and all, guess what? Fourth quarter, they're the Knicks coming back and hanging around a little bit and making it interesting. No part of San Antonio. San Antonio is a one-way team for me. If I'm betting a Spurs game, I'm betting against the Spurs.
It makes sense. I'm a little. The Lakers just seem to only do enough on the road at this point. I'm staying off that spot at this time.
I'm not playing it. Yeah, I'm with you.
If you had a free play on the total, would you try to go over the 223 or under it?
Probably under. I don't trust San Antonio offensively, and I do like that Lakers defense a lot. So gut reaction is under, but it's not anything strong.
All right, and then let's move on.
I only made one bet on tonight's NBA card.
And we are going to get in
the deep card. I almost joined you on the Pistons, and then again I talked myself out of that one.
Well, let's just cap this last game, and then we'll hear your look on this card. This is Thunder Warriors, and then we've completed the entire card in NHL and NBA. Thunder opened up at -5, now 6 and 6.5. Pinnacle the only 6. This total opened up at 215.5. It's now down to 212.5, 211.5 at Heritage. Pinnacle still hanging a 213. here. Thunder not getting distribution, and Chris Paul's their point guard. It's strange. Thunder have lost 3 straight. 3-game losing streak hasn't been that bad. First 2 losses were by 2 and 5 in LA against the Clippers and Lakers, and then they lose by 3 at home against the Lakers, and at home and home. I was impressed. I lost both my bets on that Lakers game on Friday. Warriors have lost 2 straight, 8 players for the final 2 games of their road trip. Kevon Looney, we thought was going to back. He's not. Russell remains out. Draymond Green remains out. Thunder, Warriors, Teddy Covers.
I won't take the Warriors without Green in the lineup. You know, your handicap with Golden State starts and ends with Draymond Green. When Draymond Green plays, Warriors are competitive and they play defense. When Draymond Green does not play, the Warriors aren't playing a lick of defense at all. I've got him as questionable for tonight, so that's the injury I'm paying. Forget all the other injuries. Draymond Green is the heart and soul of this year's Warriors team, and when he's not on the floor, the Warriors aren't playing at all. So that's the guy I pay attention to. If he doesn't play, look at OKC and over. I'm surprised this total's been bet down. I would lean over in this one as well.
An over lean. There we go. Now we've capped each and every one of these games. I've got more work to do on this card. What is the one play that you got to the window with in NBA?
So I almost got there with the Pistons, and I'm like, something about that game smelled wrong, and I can't tell you exactly what, but I didn't play it. I did play Cleveland. My old Cavs. I'm back on the Cavs train again. This is as much a bet against Brooklyn as it is a bet on Cleveland. But look at who the Cavs have played at home this year. It's been one good team after the next, like the Celtics, and then it's the Sixers come, and then Miami comes, and you're like, oh well, they don't have a good home record. Well, they played a bunch of good teams. Now they got Brooklyn a little bit fat and happy. Hard-fought win in the Garden against the Knicks yesterday. They got the win they wanted. Second night of back-to-backs. And the Nets team without a point guard. Cleveland coming off a nice win. They played defense last time out. Bayline saying the right things. Pick'em game. I think the Cavs are good enough to knock off the Nets tonight. So that's the one bet that I made was Cleveland. Pick'em against Brooklyn.
I understand that look. It opened as a pick'em, and now the Cavs are favored. I did try to get under this 217.5. With the under. What do you think of the total in this game?
I certainly wouldn't talk you out of the under. I agree with the lean 100%. Cleveland's going to be an under team if they're going to cover point spreads. When you're playing the Cavs, it might make sense. Cleveland. I'm going to look at that, the correlation with Cavs and under when they win and cover, and the verse they don't. Thank you for giving me something to look at today. It makes sense to me, Cleveland and under. So I would certainly lean in that direction, and that's something I'm going to do a little work on.
I love it. I agree.
In all my spare time over the next 24 hours.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, there we go. NHL and NBA card completely capped. Let's move on to this giant Monday nighter. Man, I 7-0 coming into this game, and I've been losing on my prop bets, which I've been making official plays, so it's been destroying my record, and I'm hesitant. The one thing that I do want is the Rams, and I'm wondering if I can get them at 4, if that is possible. And there's one available at Bovada right now, but I'm wondering if I can bet it at 4. I wonder if more because we know the Sharps are going to hit the Rams, but at 4, I don't. Even at 3.5, I don't see how I don't pull the trigger on the Rams here. I broke this game down twice on Tuesday and Friday on the Audible. So let's hear a fresh perspective on this spot from Mr. Teddy Covers. Teddy Covers, big Monday nighter, public against the Sharps. How are you handling this game?
I'm on the Sharp side. I'm not on the public side of this one. And let's start with this. Grab that +4. Don't diddle around and let it get away from you. The broader market is not moving a 4 today. So when you see the 4s, you pick them off with LA. I'm willing to bet on Wade Phillips against a quarterback who's looked really good. All right. We talk about the Rams. Oh, my God, their offense isn't any good. Okay. Well, number one, they're going to have a healthy receiving core this week, which they haven't had at any point this season. In fact, when you look at the Rams' skill position talent, healthier this week than I think it's been in any game this season. So maybe the offense does work a little bit. But more than anything else, offense matters, defense matters, and the Rams' defense isn't getting any love. This is Super Bowl defense. It's every bit as good this year than they were last year. Okay? I trust Phillips to come up with a game plan to contain Lamar Jackson. And for as impressive as Baltimore has been over the course of the last month, next week is Baltimore's game, okay? They get smacked tonight. Next week they come home against San Fran, who's a little fat and happy, and there will be your spot. You know, if this plays out nicely, if this plays out the way it expects, we're going to get multiple bets off this situation because we already cashed with San Fran last night. We're going to take LA plus today, and then we're going to get a great bet on the Ravens next week against the 49ers. So it has the potential to really set up with three nice plays. One's already in. Let's see if we can get the second one tonight. Again, the Rams offense has their receivers back. Okay, that matters. And for if we're just looking at the last 6 weeks, the Ravens have been the best team in the NFL. They have been. No one's been better than Baltimore over the last 6 weeks. I still think they're human. I'm not convinced they're going to play every game at the level that they played. I like LA, and I like Phillips in these type of games. I do. You know, this is a coordinator who has proven over decades that he can design game plans. And +4, +3.5. Yeah, it's a field goal game. I like the dog.
Wow, 25 minutes ago, and I missed this. The Pinnacle put the Ravens at 4, and it lasted for a minute and a half, and then back at 3.5. Wow. But still, the Rams are getting hit at Pinnacle. So when they moved it back to 3.5, you get. Oh no, they're not. The Rams. Yeah, I got to get in on this now. It's not going to last. Very interested to hear about what you think of this total here. It opened. Let me just grab it right now. Sorry, quickly. God, I got to pull the trigger. I got it right now. This total. Let me move over to totals here. It opened at 49. It's now down to 47. Baltimore Rams on a Monday nighter. What do you think about this total?
So it's a hard total for me. I think that the Rams have a solid shot to slow down Baltimore. Okay, as I've said like 8 times, you know, I'm a believer in their defensive game plan. All that said, when you bring Robert Woods and Brandon Cooks back into the lineup after these guys have been out, all of a sudden the Rams get a little explosiveness too, that they haven't had in recent weeks. So it's I think LA scores more. I think Baltimore scores less. So team total, maybe Rams over, Ravens under. Game total, I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? It's one of those scenarios where I can picture a high scoring Rams win or a lower scoring Rams win, and that or cover, and that keeps me out of the total entirely. I don't have a strong take. Rams team total under, Rams team total over, maybe. Baltimore team total under, maybe.
Well, I'm going to take the 4 that's hanging at Bovada right now. Rams +4 and -115. 7-0 yesterday. Let's see if that keeps rolling. I'm going to take the 4 while I can right now. John Wick says Rams win outright, Jimmy, and Ravens cover against San Fran. Wow. Kanaskat says Flash won 6-0 last week, pick 6, 0-5 so far. Jimmy was 2-4 last week. I'm done, Kanaskat. I'm 5-0-1. All my plays are in. The Niners -3 was the last play. I would have been 6-0, but I got the Bengals at 6, not 6.5, so it's 5-0-1. I love it. I love it. Bravada says it's a trap, Jimmy. Look, I'm getting 4 points with the home team. I don't like what I've seen from Goff. I get it. I hear what you guys are saying, but the Rams defense is strong. Okay, both secondaries have become very strong. And maybe no secondary is as strong as the Ravens right now. Getting Jimmy Smith back, getting Peters over from the Rams. But the Rams secondary has improved too with Jalen Ramsey. And I'm just going to take the 4 points here on the home team on a Monday night. That's how I'm going to handle it. Okay, let's keep rolling now. We've got Teddy Covers breakdown of the Monday nighter, and I've locked in my Rams look. Let's move into NCAA football. And we love these Mondays so much because it gives us a chance to hear what Teddy Covers has already gone to the window with. And remember, he's not going to be here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we have today and tomorrow to break down his looks, his early looks, and make moves accordingly. Teddy Covers, Monday, what have you already got to the window with?
Yeah, I made a handful of bets, and I wasn't sure that I was going to, but there were some key numbers that I wanted to grab. And I did. I grabbed. I'm playing the Egg Bowl. I played Ole Miss +3, betting number 311. I wasn't sure if the 3 was going to be there. That's what Thanksgiving night. And I just wanted the +3 in my pocket. The only reason this is 3 is because Mississippi State must win because they're one win short of bowl eligibility. My numbers say that Ole Miss is the better team. I couldn't leave 3 there, so I didn't. 348 East Carolina. This is one where I lost with Tulsa last week, and maybe I lose betting against them this time around. But Tulsa was a no-show on senior day at home. They made a bunch of mistakes. Houston was the more energized. I thought that Tulsa would be fired, would bring something, and they didn't. And now they got to go and lay points in the season finale on the road of a dead year. No. I took betting number 348 East Carolina plus the 6. There's still a 6 out there. I don't know how long those are going to last. Betting number 386, and I keep betting against Fresno, and they keep giving me odds to bet against Fresno. And I know we lost with San Jose last week. That was a weird game, man. Love hadn't thrown like 2 picks all year, and he all of a sudden that interception trouble against UNLV. And they still almost came back and won the game, and the defense couldn't hold it at the end. But Fresno can't be laying on the road. Bottom line, I took San Jose +3, betting number 3 at 86, and there's still a couple of 3s out there that you can get if you shop around. Betting number 391. I was afraid this one was going to get to 7, so I locked in on Indiana at 6.5. I should have bet it at Circa when it opened 4.5, and I haven't been betting those. But still, betting number 391. Indiana Hoosiers -6.5. I expect them to bounce back just fine off the Michigan loss, and Purdue did what they could last week. That's Purdue. They can fight. They're not going to win. I think Indiana wins this one by a touchdown or more. Last but not least, the gift that keeps on giving. Found a 10 with Illinois. The Illini -10. And at first, my first glance at this game, Jimmy, was, can I lay with Illinois? Do I really want to lay? I've been cashing tickets with them as a dog. But do I want to ask them to win and win by margin? And then you started thinking about it. I ran at some player quotes. Northwestern, when they've had the chance, they've stuck their foot and dug it, like you're grinding out a cigarette right in in Illinois' face. I think the Illini punch in an extra touchdown here, maybe 2. I think there's a decent chance. And more than anything, what are they? A 2-win Northwestern team? A 1-win Northwestern team? What's their record? 2-9. Yeah, they beat UMass. I don't see Northwestern fighting. Bottom line, Illinois -10. That number's, again, I found a rogue 10, even a 10.5. I wouldn't talk yet. But that's the 5 bets. And again, it's random 5 each of the last couple of weeks. But I made 5 bets last night / this morning. I am still considering Minnesota. I missed, I want a 3 there. I'm thinking about Okie State. I probably want a 14 there. And I might get there with Notre Dame -14 against Stanford. I just wonder if that late Cal touchdown ended Stanford's disappointing season a week early. So that's what I'm still thinking about considering, and I've made those 5 bets.
I love it. Ole Miss +3, East Carolina +5, San Jose State +3, Indiana -6.5, Illinois -10. Teddy's first 5.
That's East Carolina +6 that I put in my pocket.
Oh, sorry. Great job.
Ole Miss 3, East Carolina 6, San Jose 3, Indiana 6.5, Illinois 10.
Beautiful. Great job. Questions coming in. Claudio wanting to know Teddy's looks for Thanksgiving Thursday. That's for tomorrow. Sorry about that. I kind of have everything set up because I need as much of Teddy as possible. We only have him for 2 days, so I've kind of got everything set up so we can attack that. So if you want to hear Teddy's Thanksgiving looks, you have to come here tomorrow morning. Questions are coming in, Teddy, and let's get after them right now. Our guy Bravada says, I really want to know what Teddy Cover is thinking about the Ohio State and Michigan game. He says, should I jump on the early +9.5 line on Michigan, or do you think the public is going to bet up Ohio State? Says, I'd love a 10.5 in this spot. Take it away, Teddy. Big game.
So I'm not going to play the game flat out. And this is one of those games, again, I can absolutely picture the scenario where Michigan wins the game. Okay? Absolutely. This is not a must-win for Ohio State for as much. I know it's their arch rivals, but they're going to the Big Ten championship game next week, win or lose. That's a concern. And the betting markets are telling us that with the money that's come in off the opener on the Wolverines. And of course, again, if you take out the first month of the season, not even, you take out Michigan's first 3 games, non-cover, battle against Army, bad loss to Wisconsin. Maybe it was the first month. You take out that and say, all right, where are these two teams at over the last 6 weeks? There's not more than a touchdown difference in Ann Arbor, I'll tell you that. So you can make an argument that current form, the Wolverines, that this line is too hot. You make a legit argument in that regard. All that being said, I'm not stepping in front of the Buckeyes. I will make this clear, easy, very simple, at least not this game. Ohio State could win this by 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, and you can't be shocked because that team is really good. And Day, if he has the chance, will absolutely punch in the extra touchdown and do everything he can to keep this series the way that it's been, which is one-sided of late. So there are intangibles that may well favor Ohio State in this game with the first-year head coach who wants to make a statement, and if he gets the chance, he will. So I'm not going to play it. Pass.
There we go. The next big spot on the card is Matt Randall saying Michigan State minus 21. Looks like Maryland plus 21 is the play. Right underneath that, Guru says, Matt, don't bet Maryland. Please don't. Michigan State opening at 20.5 at Pinnacle, now at 21. There's a 21.5 at 5 dimes, 21.5 at U-Wager. Maryland, Michigan State, Teddy.
So I didn't bet Michigan State Rutgers. And I wasn't sad that I didn't bet Michigan State Rutgers. And the Spartans got back on track, and they shut them out. And, Maryland's better than Rutgers. How much better than Rutgers? That's the question. One thing that was worth noting is that the Spartans with the lead did exactly what they've done, and that sat on the ball throughout the whole second half and didn't, there wasn't, that urgency of let's get the ball down the field into the end zone. I guess if I had to play it, it might be Maryland, but I don't want my money on bottom feeders at the tail end of a season. And it's not like this is a rivalry. A lot of these games are rivalry games. There's no rivalry between Maryland and Michigan State. It's just, they didn't have a rivalry for the last game, so now you guys get one. Not a strong opinion one way or the other.
Okay, questions coming in quickly. G-Sauce. Locking247 was first. Locking247 said, can you ask Teddy about Wyoming plus 11? Let me give you the number here, 383, 384, Wyoming Air Force. Air Force opening up at minus 10.5. There are 11s on the board now at Heritage, Intertops, U-Wager, Bet365. What do you think of Wyoming as 11-point dogs?
So it's a fascinating game. My initial gut reaction was to look at I think Air Force is pretty darn good. And the whole point here with Wyoming is that if Wyoming falls behind, there's no offensive explosiveness to come back. So if Air Force does what they want to do, if Air Force is up 21-3, is this ball game, So my initial lean was towards the Falcons. Started looking at a little series history. Wyoming's done a pretty good job of slowing Air Force down in recent years, and more than most teams, I think they'll be adept. Bowles a very detail-oriented guy. I'm impressed. And have been from day one with Wyoming's head coach. In games like this one where they have to make adjustments, the adjustments are always made. So it's not a game I expect to play. I don't trust Wyoming if they fall behind, but I do trust them to have some success slowing Air Force down. Maybe look at the under in this one. That one, again, as I'm talking about on a Monday morning, that makes sense to me to look at.
All right, we're going to keep rolling. Next spot is from G-Sauce. G-Sauce says, Teddy, with the Bama line at 4, which way do you think it will move? I want Bama, 397, 398 rotation number, 5th ranked Alabama, 16th ranked Auburn. It opened at 3.5, and we do now see 4s on the board. Bookmaker still hanging that 3.5. What do you think of Alabama, Auburn this weekend, Teddy?
I would bet that 3.5 at Bookmaker sooner rather than later. I would do it before I finish talking. I do not expect this line to go down. It will only go up. In terms of the game, there's very much a scenario where the SEC can get 3 teams into the Final Four. Okay? All it takes is a couple of upsets and a couple of little weird this and that happening. And Alabama, of course, being one of those 3 teams who won't have to play in a conference title game to eliminate them. I think Alabama wins.
We have another spot here on this card. Our guy Reese saying, what about Iowa minus 4.5? This is on Friday afternoon, early. Iowa, not early, not the opening slate of games, the second slate, the 12:30 games, Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, Arkansas. Iowa, rotation number 327, 328, opening up at minus 4.5, quickly gets to minus 6. Very, very quickly. So Reese saying, what about Iowa minus 4.5 now? It's what about Iowa minus 6? Friday, Iowa, Nebraska. What do you think here, Teddy?
Yeah, I mean, good game for Nebraska, right? Let's give them credit. They had one. Maybe they get another one here. I don't want to lay up price with Iowa. Again, I bet against them this last weekend. Nathan Stanley's a stiff. He has his moments, but when you have a quarterback who can't hit open receivers, it's not a team that I'm real comfortable laying a price with. Maybe the Huskers do get some momentum off of last week. And if you like Nebraska, there's no rush. Obviously, we've seen 4.5 go to 5, go to 5.5, go to 6. Could go higher. And it's just a lean. I haven't bet this, but I do lean Huskers, especially after this early move.
Oh, I love it. So remember, get here tomorrow for the morning show because it's the last day we'll have Teddy for the week, and we need to pummel him with questions. 407, 408 rotation number. We'll close with this. Oklahoma State. Oklahoma opening up minus 12. It's already got to 13.5 at bookmaker, 12.5 everywhere else. Do you agree with that market move towards 7th-ranked Oklahoma?
No. If I'm playing, I want the dog here. We'll see what the line does. At 14, I'll probably be a buyer on the Cowboys. How many Oklahoma close calls do we have to see before we say, all right, this team can't be laying this margin. And the Cowboys off a nondescript, non-covering, weird finish game against West Virginia. I could only lean towards the dog there.
Only lean towards the dog. They're big games this weekend. We have a ton of questions to ask. So be here tomorrow morning. Maybe we get Teddy in a few minutes earlier than we've been getting him just to make sure that we milk every last second of his presence. Teddy's on 5 spots. Ole Miss +3, East Carolina +6, San Jose State +3, Indiana -6.5, Illinois -10. Teddy, is there anything that you said Minnesota. Is there anything that you're like, man, you might have locked in before tomorrow morning?
Well, again, Okie State at 14 is probably going to be a buy for me. And I'm thinking about this Notre Dame at -14 now. I don't know that I get there, but I'm thinking about it.
Beautiful. What a treat it is to roll with you coming off a nice, successful week here. And we need to keep it rolling for this big Thanksgiving week. Teddy Covers, thank you so much for joining us. Follow Teddy on Twitter at Teddy_covers. Enjoy the rest of your Monday and can't wait to work with you tomorrow morning.
I love seeing you happy, Jimmy. Not that you're not fun when you're sad or down, but when you're in a good mood, it's like roll. The positive energy just flows out of the screen. So I really appreciate it. Always fun. Good luck tonight, guys. We'll talk tomorrow.